name is Trinity Painter, and I am a photographer and a DJ. I would say photography for me starts during quarantine. That's where I thrifted my first film camera, and I think ever since then, I just kind of kept diving into the world of photography, but also film photography, because it's like a whole other part and era of photography. So I would say it started then, but like I've always been into documenting things and like cameras. Like when I was little, I had a YouTube channel. So yeah, I think it was always in me, but definitely during quarantine is when I started doing it like full time and getting into it. This one's kind of hard because I don't really remember, but I would say concerts is like what I mainly remember just starting taking my pictures at. I love music, so I would always be going to concerts, and I just always brought a camera with me and taking pictures. And also like Thanksgivings are perfect for taking pictures because it's like the memory of having family around, and there's always something going on to take pictures of at Thanksgiving. So it was like a mix of those two is like where I first started taking pictures. I would say my style is mainly portrait photography. I love taking pictures of people and people doing things, people at events, stuff like that. But I also do a lot of like landscape photography, street photography. I love taking pictures of nature and like the earth. So a lot of that too. And I would describe, like words I would describe my photography would be like warm, very cozy, but also like vibrant and colorful. So I would say the style of photography that I find interesting is like more experimental photography and more kind of like concept shoot. So like say someone's like going to a farm or like a diner and they do a whole shoot based on that. I love those kind of shoots, and I don't do them very often. Like I feel like my photography is very kind of go with the flow and like just like living life. And I'm like, if I'm with a friend, I'm like, hey, can you stand there and let me take a picture of you? Like it's very just like casual, but I love shoots that are like they have all the props and they know what background they're gonna use, and I want to do more of that. So more experimental shoots on the way. I think like being able to like capture and freeze a moment in time brings me joy. There's just so many moments where I'll like forget to take a picture, and I'm like, damn, it like makes me so happy because I have a photo album of all my photos that I've taken, and like going back and like kind of forgetting sometimes that I took this photo, or like the memory that this photo brings up. I think that's like my favorite thing about photography, and what makes me the happiest is like being able to remember everything through a simple photograph. It's really beautiful. Okay, this is hard because I know my answer is Dochi or Issa Rae, but how I would style them is very hard because they're both like powerful women that just like are multi-talented. But I feel like for Dochi, I would want to like continue on with the Swamp Princess era, and like just would want her in like a swamp or like a lake, and would just want her wearing like the most eclectic pieces, and want her like in a bow, and like there's like flannels in the water. I don't know, there's like a vision to it, and I feel like that would be just very cool with Dochi, just something in the water and like very swampy in that era, because I really love that era. And then for Issa Rae, I don't know, I feel like something in the hills, and she's wearing the most beautiful gown, gorgeous dress, and it's just like sunbeaming. And I just feel like something simple but also beautiful and gorgeous for Issa Rae. Yeah, that's my idea, it's my vision. I think they're both very creative and just forms of expression that fit me the most. I love music and I love documenting, so I feel like falling into both of them was like very natural for me, especially with DJing. And I feel like DJs always need photographers or like people to document their sets, and like people in general always need a photographer to document life. So it's like I would love to be that. And I love like curating a room with music, or capturing a room or a vibe or an event with photos. So yeah, I think they do go hand in hand. With DJing, what attracted me the most was like my passion for music and then being able to have a platform or like a space where I could then put people on to like some music that they might not have heard of, or just even share our favorite music tastes in a room and everyone's just dancing and vibing and we're all singing the same song that we love. And it's just so cool to like manage a room and like manage the vibe of a room with just like music and like songs that everyone loves. Just like the whole like digging and crate picking when it comes to DJing is something I do already, and like making playlists and digging through new artists that I've never heard of and going through their like discography, all very fun for me. So I think DJing was very natural thing to go into. Ooh. Okay, so I think for me, what I usually tend to play is a lot of like K-Tronada. So I love house. So I'd say K-Tronada. I would also say like Isaiah Rashad, kind of figuring out how he would get into the mix a little bit. Also, Lexa Gates is an artist I really like. I think for the last artist, I'd probably go with Berlioz. I think that's how you say his name. He does a lot of jazz house. Okay, I would say photography is my path to like pure happiness in life and like joy and alignment and attunement. Like, I feel like that is probably the perfect way I could say that sentence, because it just like brings happiness to me. It brings happiness to others, like shooting people and like seeing the smile on their face when they get the photos back. Like, yeah, so I would say that. And I don't know, I think it's just like a very important thing in my life. So it just brings me a lot of happiness, a lot of joy, a lot of alignment. Yeah.